Can you beat Dark Souls 1 using only mouse? Yes, you heard me right, only mouse. You may wonder how do I plan doing that with 2-3 buttons only, and there lies the magic. Newer gaming mouses have 5, 6, sometimes 7 buttons that I can revamp, so I decided to make my setup like that, and using only one hand. You can see the list over here, what I did decide to do and revamp for the controls, so it can be easy for you to understand what goes where. Also, I did install this nice program called Noah Board Rewrite, which basically lets you to see what is happening on the screen in real time, with my inputs on the mouse and on the keyboard itself. Also, for you just to be sure, I even attach a camera on my phone that films directly on my desk, so you can see what I'm doing, and so it can be transparent 100%. Rules are simple. I need to beat game until the end, using only mouse and using only one hand. One exception though was I cannot open menu with the mouse, aka I cannot revamp the key on mouse to open the menu, so I need to use my other hand for doing that, and only in that instance I can use the other hand, never more. Next rules are I need to beat all of the bosses, I need to beat all of the DLC bosses as well, no glitches, no exploits and no summons allowed. So after I got that out of the way, let's get it started. This is Dark Souls 1 only with mouse and one hand. Enjoy! After picking up the key and setting up controls, I'm ready to start. Of course, I ran past the Asylum Demon and went straight to picking up my equipment. So far, movement and controls are kinda easy, but that is only temporary. Now I cheated a little bit because in order to equip my weapon, I need to use my other hand so I can access the menu and equip it. Next, after talking with our beloved friend who rescued us, we need to face our next challenge, which is facing our first enemies. I really thought that is going to be easy, but they actually gave me some hard time, cause I was not adjusted to my new movements and attacks. For the sake of God, I just could not aim them properly in order to make a good hit, so I planned my attacks really carefully, and that is one hit and one dodge. And after dealing with them, I move on to face the Asylum Demon. I was really hoping to make this first hit successful, which will give me a huge advantage over him. I decided to fight him without locking on, hoping it will make this fight a lot easier for me because I cannot roll in all directions, only in front of me. I have only 4 flasks, but this wooden club actually hits him like a train. Speaking of trains, he almost got me over here, but I was quick enough to run away and like a little bit, so I can heal myself. And after a couple of successful hits, he is actually down in the first try. So after drying my stressed and sweated hands, we took the flight to Lordran to continue the journey. After collecting some items, I decided not to go into graveyard for some new weapons, because this wooden club is more than I need to progress until Taurus Demon. Most important thing about the regular enemies is to try dividing them and killing them one by one. Luckily in Dark Souls 1 we don't really have a ton of these gang squads, so I will be good to go, at least until first half of the game. Next, after getting in Undead Burg, with my stupid decisions and movement, I almost got myself killed in the first time in this run. Lucky for me, I got on my feet just in time. Because I cannot use my other hand and roll into all directions, the weakest and one of the faster hitting enemies, the regular hollows, are making me very anxious, especially in tight places like this, where I do not have all of the control I want. I was not really aware of my surrounding, and because of that I got myself killed over here, when I wanted to two-hand my weapon. And this is officially first time me dying in this run. But that didn't make me to stop this run, of course, because it is my first challenge run ever, so I decided to keep going forward, and after lighting up the new bonfire and leveling up, I continued my journey. I decided to go with quality build, upping my strength and dexterity up to 20 at least, not knowing what will be my weapon of choice yet. After killing a couple of enemies over here, went into the merchant, I continued my journey across the bridge. This is the strategy that I talked about last time, and this is to divide all of the enemies, if there is more than 3 of them, one by one. After clearing all the enemies and not picking up the lightning grease because of course I forgot about it, skipping the Havel and Black Knight, I decided to go straight to Taurus Demon and coming later on to kill them both. I really have high hopes because I have almost 10 flasks, but I'm really concerned about me being totally naked with only some panties on, and this shitty boss arena very tight and very hard to move, especially if you can roll only in one direction. In the middle of the fight I realized two things: that it's not really hard to dodge and move in this arena, and that hits from the boss are hitting me like a train, so I really need to move more carefully because my weak club does not do much damage to him and it hits really slow. And of course, me being greedy little fuck, I decided to go all for it, and as you can see, that resulted in me being killed another time. But I went back to it, this time more prepared, more focused, with better knowledge about movements and dodging, so I killed Taurus Demon in second try. Next, after heartbroken farewell with our good friend Solaire, because I cannot summon him ever, and evading the dragon on the bridge, I continue my journey after activating this shortcut. When I finished leveling up, I got a really good idea, and that is to take a claymore on the bridge and use it as my primary weapon. It's really good scales with both strength and dexterity, has swiping attacks, has pointing attacks, and it's a really good weapon overall. Sadly, I cannot use it just yet, so I decided to kill couple more enemies to save some money, I mean souls, for leveling up and actually upgrading my weapon when I get to Andre. Over here I got panic attack from falling off the bridge, but I managed to do it slowly and killing the boar in the first try. Next, I continue my journey through these tight spaces, killing all of the enemies and getting to Andre. Until this point, I really got acquainted with moveset, attacks and overall rolling itself. This club is a really simple weapon, slow but it hits hard. Very soon I'm going to change it for something better. Next, after leveling up, I see that I have a little problem, and that is I cannot use the claymore with one hand, and very soon I realized that this was a very good thing, because two-handed claymore hits like a train. Next, I open a shortcut to Firelink Shrine, clear out of the enemies in the church, and then I decided to go straight for a boss fight, and that is to kill gargoyles. I got little greedy over here, and this Balder Knight decided to parry me, which resulted in my another death. But soon after, I got my revenge, killing the knight and rest of the enemies upstairs. These tight spaces are a big problem for me, because most of Claymore attacks are swiping and it only has one poke attack, which is really tricky to get, especially with one hand only. So I really need to be smart and careful over here, because one or two hits from these possessed hollows can cause me a serious damage, especially because I'm naked. And after killing all of the enemies in this church and having only 3 Estus flasks, I'm ready to go. I'm really nervous about this fight, but I was really tired to go back at bonfire to rest, so I decided to try killing them in first try with nothing more than 3 Estus flasks. Lucky for me, I fought this bastard dozens of times, so I know all of their moves and tricks, but the only problem is when the second gargoyle comes to fight, and then the real fight starts. I really need to be more careful over here, especially because I'm naked and I'm really low on flasks, which means that any bad move is going to cause me a serious damage. It really got it tense and hard. My heart is pounding, my hands are sweating, I cannot keep with this no more. I don't know about you, but my heart was pounding at this moment, hands are sweaty, fingers are numb, but I did it, just barely. So I decided to go to kill the magic butterfly, went to the Andre for some weapon upgrades, and I continue my journey in the magic forest. Over here I made a stop to do two things: pick up the Grasscrest shield and try to kill the Black Knight and hopefully get his weapon. I say hopefully because if I manage to score his weapon, this run will be much easier for me, and I will save my parents from hearing my screams and wall punches all day long. But my hope lasted very short, because this Black Knight gave me such a hard time. It was really hard to fight him in such a narrow space and actually land a good punch. And because I can't properly parry or backstab him, I decided to go to another route, and that is trying to hit him, run away and do it repeatedly. Still, it was very hard to actually evade his attacks, because this place has very narrow edges and walks, which mean that a single mistake can cost me so much, and as you will see, he actually got killed me 2 times. But I was not ready to give up, because I knew that his weapon can help me a lot if I get him, so I decided to try my luck. Every second or third playthrough of this game I actually managed to get hit, so I was really hoping that this time is going to be one of them. Finally, I actually managed to kill him, and I got his weapon. Sadly for me, this weapon is way beyond my strength and dex threshold, so I will need to wait a bit longer in order to use it. But still, it was a really welcoming present that will make my life easier from now on and save my wall from punches. So now we can get back to the main road, and that is to kill Magic Butterfly. There is not really much going over here, except me activating the bonfire and leveling up, maybe even dying once, who knows, because I will just run past these enemies. I'm not really interested in any items over here, I just want to get and kill the boss. This fight is actually very boring. It's more a waiting game rather than the real boss fight, because you just need to evade his attacks and wait for the right movement to strike. Yes, it sounds simple and easy, that's what I thought first time playing with this creature, but when you actually get to his second phase of the health, it gets much more aggressive and harder, and especially because the arena is narrow and linear, it's actually hard to do all of this evading, especially using the mouse. I was really trying to make my shots count, but still, this claymore gave a pretty good hits, and yes, just as I predicted, this pitch got really crazy after taking its health to half, and I got even more aggressive and angrier, spawning attacks and missiles like crazy. It was really a challenge for me to evade all of them, so sadly I got killed once. Yes, I got killed by the fucking butterfly. Please don't judge me, I'm trying my best to get better, okay? I got into the arena second time, now with more focus and determination, willing to kill him as soon as possible. And I really gave more effort into evading its attacks. Left and right, fight lasted maybe 15 minutes, but lucky for me I managed to take a win. Only in 2 tries. Only. After getting the basement key that is required to continue the game, I did some backtracking, going all the way back to the Firelink Shrine and doing some small things in the meantime, like leveling up, upgrading my claymore a bit, and of course killing the Lothric as usual, and equipping his ring. We are doing another backtracking, and that is to kill 2 Black Knights that I missed, and if I can, Havel, for the one of the best rings in the game. First Black Knight that is located in this watchtower gave me a hard time. Only reason for that is the small arena and a very tight space to move. His hits also were very devastating, and meaning that one mistake from me, especially when he does his overhead attack, can cost me life. And the only reason that I wanted to kill him and the next night as well is for getting an extra XP for leveling up. Because I need to equip my halberd and to get my revenge, because a long time ago my first interaction with these bastards playing these Dark Souls have left me a scar on my brain. But nonetheless, here we are, playing the hardest game from my childhood only with one hand, with mouse. How long have you come? Okay, let's get back to the topic. Now, it's really important to don't die, because like I said again, we really need all of those souls for the upgrade, and I want to equip the halberd as soon as possible, because it will get only harder from this moment on, and I want to up my chances as much as possible. And now for a real challenge, the Havel. I cannot describe you how anxious and scared I feel every time after getting into his arena, and especially now. Literally, his one hit only can kill me, so I really need to be careful, and because he is a damage sponge, this fight will last a lot longer than I want. Sadly, I got really greedy and I wasn't careful, so I got killed in the meantime. And every time this guy gets me, I got more and more anxious. So second fight was done with a lot more patience and stability. Literally, I only hit him when I see it's good, and really try to evade every single hit from him. Lucky for me, not all of his attacks are lethal. There were a couple of them that I can survive, but only if I heal and run in time. Luckily, I managed to kill him in second try, got his ring and got away with mild health and brain consequences. I continued my way and decided to go kill the Capra Demon, the boss that I don't like, not even a bit. The path to his arena, from the Undead Burg bonfire to the arena itself, is what makes this bastard so notorious. I really hate this concept, but the good side is when you kill him, it becomes so rewarding. Sadly, I wasn't careful over here, I managed to get myself killed in the meantime, 2 times actually, and only from these shitty, boring mobs, these thieves. These shitty ass thieves, I really hate these thieves, and combination with these dogs is your one-way ticket to mental hospital. I mean, this is the peak Souls design. These enemies and these dogs over here, they are literally in every single game. But yes, when you kill them and when you get past them, it really gets to the real challenge over here, and that is the Capra Demon. Now for the boss itself, it was always important for me to get rid of the dogs first, then try to kill him after that. Sadly, when you get attacked by all of them in the meantime, this is where the problems arise. A good rule of thumb for me was always to get up on the stairs, kill the doggies one by one, and then get to this bullhead idiot. That scenario is in ideal world, which we are not in, because I play this shit with a fucking mouse, and it will make this very harder than needed. So hard that never mind. And yes, we got killed, but now I want to be a sneaky bastard and I decided to put some lightning oil onto my sword, so I can have much better chances next time. And would you look at that, second time my attack hit like a train. This guy now doesn't have a chance, not even a bit. This claymore is destroying him, like a toddler destroyed his toys and his parents' marriage. And finally we got a victory, 2 times only. Now we continue to the depths after acquiring the key, and before I continue I just want to mention another thing that I added, and that is the new angle so you can see my hand better. Sorry if it was very big and overlaying the screen, I didn't calculate it properly in OBS Studio, but now you can see it even more better. We continue to the depths, killing the mobs, getting the ember for the Andre, collecting as much of the souls as possible and trying not to die. Sadly, I don't got the master key, so I need to go all the way through the depths in order to unlock my bonfire. It's a very tedious and stressful path, but I think I can manage it just fine. Now, the only obstacle over here are going to be these ugly ass creatures that fart deadly poison and the big ratatouille rats. Yes, I got killed, again. But it's all good. I wanted to kill this channeler before the fight, because he can interfere with the next boss fight that we are going to have, and that is the Gaping Dragon. This boss is not really a hard one to say, so because it only has 1 or 2 attacks that we need to fear, and the rest of them are very easy to avoid and dodge. Sadly, my attacks are not dealing him a lot of damage, not even with the additional buff, so it's going to be a lot longer fight in the end that I wanted, where patience, timing and proper dodging is going to make a huge difference. But nonetheless, it was a fine fight in the end. It took a little longer than I expected, but still I managed to score a good victory over this bastard, and even I managed to cut his tail off, which gave me a huge PTSD after I remembered how tedious it was to cut all of them for trophy. Killing him granted us the key for Blighttown, and notorious place that I managed to kinda like after a ton and ton of playthroughs. Yes, I know, you hate it, but I got so acquainted with it because it was always a scary and anxious place going down there, and after seeing that it's not so big of a deal right now, I kinda got liking it a bit, so it's not going to be a huge issue about getting along over there. I would say only problem here are toxic dart shooting guys that can deal serious damage if you're not careful enough. And luckily I know all of their hiding spots, so it won't be a huge of deal to kill them all now. Next, it's really important where I was stepping, because in my past it happened to me a ton of times that I fell down from some ledges or wood, and that resulted in instant death, so you need to be really careful over here. Now I wanted to pick up the upgrade for my Estus flask and head down to the next bonfire where I will rest and prepare to kill the next boss. Down here we don't have nothing interesting to do, only killing the man-eater invader and maybe picking up some items as we go. It is a very boring area, so I will try to just move past it very fast and go straight to the boss arena. Now I kinda have one problem. My sword wasn't upgraded as much as I wanted, it was like +3 or +4, so I'm really concerned about how much damage will I deal to this naked lady. But despite that, having 11 flasks had given me slight hope that I will kill her in first try. That's what I thought at least, because this bitch was giving me a hard time. Not hard like I was this morning when I woke up, but still it was pretty decent. Her hits weren't so bad, only a big explosion attack was giving me a headache, so I get adapted very fast for that, into learning how to avoid all of the attacks and perfecting my timings and attacks. I got killed twice in this fight, but after equipping myself with a new anti-fire drip and having more determination than ever, I went back in the fight and decided to end her life. I do really hope that this armor will make a good difference, because it is really resistant to fire attacks, which are 90% of all of the attacks this boss has, so I think I'm good to go. I really tried staying close to her left side, because with that I can avoid all of the sword attacks, and when she does the explosion, I roll away fast as possible. When I saw her lava attacks barely damaging me, I got even more motivation to continue and kill her, and after a couple of minutes, I finally beat her. Now, after we rang the second bell, it's time to go all the way back to the Firelink Shrine and go back into the asylum to pick up some items over there, and to continue my mission. I still didn't upgrade my weapon, but I think it will be sufficient enough to kill the next boss, Stray Demon. So you remember the two big problems that I was speaking about when I first started my video intro? Well, this is one of them, and that is I completely lost my footage fighting this boss. Don't worry, you didn't miss really much, I just went around the fat bastard, did some poking into his fat ass, and that's it, really nothing special. Sorry about that again, but you will hate me even more after you see the second problem. Only thing that I can say you right now is it won't happen again in my new videos. Forgive me about that. I'm new in this, sorry. Now we went to one of the biggest obstacles in this challenge run, Sen's Fortress. This place was a hell, a really tight and narrow spaces, a lot of traps, shitty enemy placements, and yes, it was a real pain to go through all of this shit. And I got myself killed over here a lot more than I want. Luckily, after gradually and slowly going through the fortress, I finally managed to get to the end and safely got to the bonfire, without losing my souls, so I can upgrade myself even more. Now we fight our next boss, Iron Golem, and I was really disappointed how fast we killed him with our new weapon. Literally, he didn't even got a chance to do a proper attack on us or even do anything about our attacks, so he just stood there and take all of our hits, until he finally got killed first time using this weapon now, and I'm more than satisfied how much damage it does, so I got my hope back into finishing this run properly, and not torturing myself more than I need. Especially because this halberd using only mouse has a really good attacks. Our next step is Anor Londo. This place is very beautiful and magical, just like first time seeing it, but we are not here for sightseeing, rather to do some work. So we went to the bonfire, got rested, upgraded ourselves, and then went to the left side of the cathedral in order to get sucked into the picture on the wall. I had a huge panic attack over here from falling down. I really got my hands so sweaty, I got so anxious, but luckily we managed to do and cross it safely, and we went straight to the painted wall of Ariamis. I was really impressed how good combination this weapon is with regular attacks that we can only use with our mass, so I think we have a good potential into this run. This is very interesting and beautiful place, but I don't know, it's really somewhat haunted for me still to this day, so we won't be holding up over here a long time. Literally all I want to do is get finished with as soon as possible and kill the crossbreed Priscilla, because we need to kill all the bosses for this run. And of course pick up some useful items and souls along the way, and trying not to die. Not a lot at least. In the meantime, along the way I managed to level up myself in order so I can wield heavier armor and withstand her attacks, and especially because she deals a lot of bleed damage, so it was a smart decision to make. But despite that, she managed to kill me once, because I got really greedy and not careful with the attacks and her moveset. Next time we got even more careful with moveset, attacks and everything, so it was really breeze this time. And that is for this shithole of the place. Let's get out of here. We went back into Anor Londo, making our way to the next bonfire, our next boss fight. I wanted to say that we will have a next obstacle with these two Silver Knights archers, but no, we won't. These guys kill me so many times that it is impossible for me to fall down now. I can't allow myself that disgrace again. Not in front all of you people. Fuck these guys. This design over here was so diabolical and evil that I don't know what to say. The designer of this level needs to be in jail. This is just not human, man. Come on, like... But we're better than this. We got past them and continue our way to the bonfire to get some rest without much damage to our mental lobe. I got really sad seeing Solaire sitting there and not talking a word with us because we can't break rules for this run. Sorry Solaire, no summons allowed, next time maybe. Now we went our way back to the castle and all the way to the giant blacksmith, getting some weapon upgrades and going straight to the next boss. To be honest, I did got a bit of anxiety about the fight because it's two of them, so that means I need to be really careful about my moves, but somehow long into this run I'm kinda confident about killing them without much problems. I wanted to kill the Ornstein first, so I got Big Smog later on, because he is a lot easier for me, so that's my plan about this run. By the way, did you know that when one of them gets into his second phase and gets bigger, it's actually the arena and the player getting smaller rather than the boss getting bigger. It's really strange design, but despite that I find it very cool and unique. If you don't believe me, you can look it up online and see it for yourself. It was only recent that I found out about that. Luckily for me, this new weapon that I have, Black Knight Halberd, has really strong hits. So I was really confident about this fight. Sadly, I got killed with his AoE attack because I didn't manage to run away in the time from him, but next time when I got even more luckier and I managed to kill him without much of a hassle. Now, after getting the Lord Vessel and opening the magic doors into newer areas, it's time to decide where next are we going. I opted for the Catacombs and Nito, and stupid enough I was to go there without getting the Sunlight Maggot first. Now the only solution is to go into Catacombs hoping that I will get the lantern thing. And yes, even if I get it, I can't wield it. Great, I can't equip it to use it on the hand. So yeah, that's the plan. Clear the catacombs, go straight and killing the Grave Lord Nito in the process, while in full dark. I can't tell you how excited I am about this. If you just could see my face right now. The only good thing about that happened here was getting the Rite of Kindling from the most beloved boss in the game. And having 50 or 20 flasks will mean a world to me right now. Next, I opted to go straight to the next boss and hoping that I don't die in the process, let's say more than 20 times. And yes, just as I thought, it was really painful to go to this area. Despite cranking my game and brightness and my display brightness all the way up, I still couldn't see a shit. I almost quitted at this point, I swear to God, it was so painful and so stressful navigating this shitty area, and especially literally the worst possible enemies in these games are located in this hellhole. I mean, what more could I possibly want from this area? It was a pure hell on earth. I hate this place so fucking much. I stopped counting how many times I got myself killed over here, either from falling down the ledges or being killed by these dog enemies. I swear to God, it was killing me mentally. I was prepared to quit this run right now, but then I got calm somehow and decided to just run past everything and hope for the best result. And luckily I finally managed to get out from this shithole and go straight to the next boss. And do you remember the 20 deaths rule that I spoke about after Pinwheel boss fight? Let's just say... Actually, let's just not say anything, let's just continue this run. Nito by himself, it's not really hard. Only problem here are the mobs that are with him, because I didn't bring any divine weapon. I really need to be smart and careful when I'm here. His attacks are fairly easy to dodge, he doesn't hit really hard, only he has one magic attack that I fear so much, and that attack only can one-shot me very easily. And the worst part about this is if I get killed, I need to go back all the way back from the bonfire, through the dark to here. So I really need to kill him in first try. Sadly, he got me once and I fell down from the edges running to the boss. And let's just say 1 to 2 hours later, I actually managed to kill him. I was mentally so devastated over here. I was so enraged, so much in pain. I just hate this boss and this boss run so much. You will not believe how much I hate this. Next stop is Lost Isolate. After a long backtracking, of course I didn't activate my bonfire at Daughter of Chaos, I finally managed to get into the Hell version of Dark Souls and got my way through the 3 mini bosses without dying too much, and with decent stress management. We killed the first boss over there without much problems. Next one is fairly easy, so to say, as well. It's literally the same boss as a Stray Demon, so it won't be a problem. Only the third boss was kinda difficult, and that's most likely because of his arena and my limited range of moveset, so I really need to dodge with perfect timing, and because I have longer range weapon, try to aim for his worm head so I can get the lava ring in order to make this fight a lot easier. I continued my run as usual, going to the next area without much problems, and now, after killing 2 NPCs that were standing in my way, I got into the, I would say, biggest obstacle and biggest problem in this run. Bed of fucking chaos. I hate this boss, and I even hate him more than I hate him right now. It was the worst boss run ever to this date. I got so embarrassed right now. You will not believe it. I will never ever in my lifetime recover from this pain, stress and humiliation that is going to happen right now in the next couple of minutes. So I will leave it to it, to just watch my suffering and to enjoy it. Oh my god. And after, I don't know how many tries, deaths and pain, it's time to move forward. Now, you may recall and remember that I said something about 2 big problems in the start of this run, and you thought, he may refer to the Bed of Chaos fight as a second problem. Sadly, no. I wish I can say that, but the second problem was actually that I lost complete footage going through the Duke archives, killing Seth, and after that going to the Honor Londo and killing the Lady Boy. As you can see, I bought a new display because my old one died on me, and in OBS it actually captured a full black screen all the time, because I forgot to change the output to the new monitor, and somehow it really just got bugged and filmed nothing, literally nothing, only black screen all this time. And my stupid brain didn't remember to check if everything was good. I again really apologize for that. Now I decide to continue by killing the 4 kings first, so I went straight to New Londo ruins, and arriving over there I realized that I missed a key item to progress and kill the boss itself, and that item is the Covenant of Artorias. Nonetheless, I went over there to kill some enemies, pick up the Estus Flask upgrade and open the big door. I was constantly getting overwhelmed by these ghost enemies. My movement with mouse is severely limited, so I wanted to kill them as fast as possible, and because they are attacking me from all sides, I decided to use sweep attacks only, and yes, I did a new thing, and that is I revamped a key, which was this button on the mouse, it was assigned as two-handing the weapon, and now I put the heavy attack over here because we will face the hardest bosses in this game from now on, and every help is needed. Now I went to the magic forest so I can kill the doggy. But I forgot about these NPCs, and I really thought they won't be a problem, but actually they were, because they constantly attacked me in pairs, and I can't lock onto anything, so I was on a watch from all sides. And sadly, they managed to kill me in the first encounter, but luckily I killed the knight, so it's going to be easier next time. They were really annoying, and thank god that I'm over level for this area, and I have really good weapon, but still, linear attacks from this halberd were really challenging, and my wrist was constantly in pain all this run, jiggling my hand left and right to properly aim at the enemies. This area is really fine, because there are a ton of bats and valks over here that I need to watch my step, and as you remember in Essence Fortress, I was overwhelmed there by the narrow roads. Now, I kill the enemies and join the Covenant, just in case the doggy kills me, but I hope he won't because my attacks hit like a train. And the good thing is the doggy is very wide and I don't need to be really careful with my attacks, only I need to watch out from his sweep and jump attacks, and with some light armor that won't be a problem. His first attack scared me a bit, because he sometimes can get very aggressive and boring, especially when he spawns his jump attacks, so it's really crucial to aim at him all the time and try to dodge the sweep attacks. I made sure to constantly be on the guard for everything, and I even took a risk to land a heavy attack, which turned the odds to my side. Now, with the ring acquired, it's time to upgrade my weapon and armor as much as possible. I had a ton of souls, literally it was enough for 2-3 levels, but instead I decided to buy a ton of Twinkling Titanites so I can upgrade myself, because it will get messy. We got back into New London ruins and I passed by most of the enemies, watching my step over where I go, because the visibility was really low and we can fall onto a lot of traps over here, so I need to keep my mouse and hand steady and progress to the 4 kings. Now, I always have a rule of thumb over here, and that is to make sure having a light roll, and I was so stupid to mess this up, ending with a medium one and slow attacks, because I did not calculate my equipment properly. I got kinda stressed seeing that, my hand got shaky and sweaty, so I really needed to be careful when and where I hit, because I want to kill the king before the second one spawns, and I want to keep up the pace until the end of the fight. They actually weren't so aggressive, and I was fast enough so they didn't spawn any magic attacks on me. But nonetheless, if I don't kill the king on time, I'm dead. I got my mouse steady, my grip got stronger, and I watched their moves and attacks closely. I was making sure to don't do heavy attacks on them, because they will punish me, so I was constantly trying to run around them and time my dodges and attacks. My wrist was killing me from constantly moving the camera around, but it was either that or being crippled with rolls in all directions. But somehow I managed to endure it through the fight, and successfully killed all of the kings in the first try. It was crazy to remember that first time playing Dark Souls 1, these bastards were the hardest boss for me, and somehow I even had a huge fear and anxiety from them every single time. And now I killed them, only with one hand and a mouse. Having only one boss to kill in the base game, it's time to deal with the DLC first. I went out to kill the Hydra, and that was more of a waiting game rather than the real fight. I just needed to land a perfect roll with her attacks, and it was going really well, only I had a fear of getting too close to her, but this far in the game I am very confident in my movement and dodges using the mouse. After killing her and the Golden Golem, it's time to go into Duke Archives for the last item. In the ideal world, I just would run past these enemies and get the key, but now I was so nervous that I don't do something right, and any mistake in my movement will be a problem, because if I got stuck to one enemy, they will swarm onto me from all sides, so I'm really careful how I will move over here. It was going really great, but sadly I was overwhelmed with the crystal skeletons and they got me killed, but I managed to get my revenge and get the broken pendant and progress into the DLC. Now, going into DLC, it's where things get messy. First boss over here, the Sanctuary Guardian, it's not really a big problem. His attacks are fast and constant, so it's important to keep a distance. Sadly for me, using mouse and only having one direction in my disposal, I decided to use again the tactic of going around him and trying to land a good hit. And of course, I totally forgot about his shitty tail. So I got a bit of a surprise when I wanted to give her some backshots, but overall it was a fine fight, and I managed to take a win. Lucky for me, the arena over here is huge, so I can move freely however I want, and having no option for locking on was not a problem either. My hits were dealing a ton of damage to him, so I managed to kill the Sanctuary Guardian in the first try. The Royal Wood is, in my opinion, a very nice and beautiful place, but we are not here for sightseeing. I just want to run past these enemies as fast as possible, so my hand is on the mouse run button constantly, locked and ready, and one eye up on the stamina bar, waiting to get emptied and refill so I can run again, and the other eye is around the enemies, watching over so I don't get hit. I decided to kill the Chester right now, open the shortcut and face one of the hardest bosses in this run, Artorias. Lucky for me, I have one of the, if not the best weapons in the game, so I'm good to go. At least I hope. Artorias killed me so many times in the past, it's actually kinda embarrassing. But now I'm very confident that it will be a lot better. And over here, just as usual, run around him, time my dodges and hits, and be patient. Patience is the key in this fight, so I remove my finger from the button for heavy attacks, because if I land that attack, he will probably get me in his combo and I won't even get a chance to heal myself, so it's really important to be patient and steady in this fight, and aim my mouse towards him because he moves through the arena very fast and aggressive. Luckily, my hits were dealing ton of damage, so I was really confident, and also I needed to interrupt all of his attacks when he tries to power up, so it's going to be easier for me to kill him. Now I continue my journey through the town, running past all of the enemies and not picking up anything along the way. Only important item over here is going to be the crest key. Enemies here are not that hard, rather boring most of the time, so it's really important to watch out on my movement over here, so either I don't get overwhelmed by them or fall down from some ledge, and to do that I kept my mouse nice and steady. Business as usual, I run past literally every single enemy over here, not picking up anything, so I can get to the menus as fast as possible. I have a huge fear about that fight, because he is the one tough guy, and run back to him is what makes this even more difficult, because one wrong turn or wobble with my mouse and I'm falling down to my death, so I need to be here slow and steady as possible. I totally forgot how annoying this guy is, especially when he does that never-ending combo, and I was really frustrated how this fight was going on. He was punishing my every mistake, every wrong move with the mouse, every wrong button that I pressed, he punishes it, and he punishes it very hard. I was really getting my ass kicked over here, over and over again. He was spamming his attacks, and a lot of time I misclick a button on the mouse, which he was waiting for so much. Also, he was really good at dodging my attacks. My halberd missed him so many times, so I removed my finger from the heavy attack button so I can up my chances even more using only light attacks, and using them only when I need to. Still, he was kicking my ass nonetheless, but let's say after 5-6 tries I managed to memorize all of his attacks and moves, so from that point on it was kinda easier for me. Another bad thing is that I can't lock onto him, and a ton of times he was doing some crazy combos and attacks behind my back, so I didn't know when I can heal safely, and I needed to take my chances and risk it, which he gladly waited. He killed me more than anything in this run, and I was really losing my focus over here. I was getting so angry and so furious about him, but somehow I managed to stay calm and watch out for his attacks. And 30 minutes later I managed to kill him just fine and continue my journey. We are one boss short in this DLC, and that is Dragon Calamite. This is very annoying boss for me, but I love this fight so much and I was really excited for it. Only problem over here is that Calamite flies through the arena really often, and I need to be on constant lookout for his attacks, especially the fire ones. My hand and wrist is screaming in pain from constant touring the mouse left and right, up and down. But I sat down and I'm not moving until I finish this game. This run took long enough. His attacks were hitting me like a train. I was really getting overwhelmed by the combos, I didn't time my attacks and dodges right, and he was punishing my every single mistake over here. and I always got into his grab attack, which always ended in almost instant death. I was kinda getting angry and stressed, but I just could not focus on that because the constant pain in my wrist that stabbed my hand in this moment, and in the back of my head I was screaming to myself to kill him as fast as possible, so the pain could go away. He killed me a couple of times over here, but I started to memorize his movesets. Lucky for me, setting the mouse in the right angle and having a good timing with the clicks, it resulted in the perfect dodging for most of the times. Also, just when I got it right, he somehow bugged out and started spamming his fire attacks constantly to me, so I was already prepared in another death. Luckily, I managed to run just in time and heal myself and continue the fight properly. He is a hard boss, but he doesn't have a ton of attacks, so when you memorize them, it's all walk in the park basically from that point on. I got killed over here more than I want to say, but in the end I managed to score a victory, leaving us with only one boss to complete this run, and that is the Gwyn. I prepared and leveled myself up as much as I could, because this boss is a real pain. I'm embarrassed to say this right now to you, but this is my second time killing him with attacks and dodges only. It was always either parries or magic, so it's going to be a tough one right now. I'm going to run past all of the knights over here. I won't use any buffs and magic, just pure dodging and attacking. I needed to make a 1 hour break, do some workout and have a lunch because my wrist was killing me. And in this fight I'm going to fly around with the camera in every direction possible. I need to be fast as possible with my buttons over here, and I need to be always turned toward him, so I can see what he is doing and which attack he is planning to launch. Also, like with the other bosses, I removed my finger from the heavy attack button, so if I misplace my click or attack, he won't punish me. Timing over here is very important, and how fast I can run and hide behind the rocks so I can heal myself and not get punished in the process. Nonetheless, he was punishing my every mistake. He has never-ending combos that I just could not dodge properly, and because I'm constantly turned towards him, I rolled onto his attacks most of the time. He was wiping the floor with me, killing me over and over again, but I was trying to keep it cool and slow and not lose my focus and patience. I was amazed on how much harder this boss is when you try to kill him normally without cheesy parries and attacks. This is how the last boss should be in this game, so it was a real proper fight in the end, if you ask me. And finally, I managed to beat this bastard, and this whole game using only one hand and using only mouse. I'm so happy and excited to do this, which was officially my first challenge run ever, and it was hell of a journey that I'm very proud of. It's not my last, because I'm planning to do all of the games in the series and maybe try some even Souls-like games. So in order to make that possible, I ask you to let me know down in the comments your thoughts and critiques about the video and the run overall, and I would like you to see some other videos and games in the Soulsborne series that I made. Also, if you did like it, consider subscribing to my channel to give me even more support for the future videos. It will mean a lot of me, and I want to give you back by making good and interesting content to watch. So, thank you all for sticking to the end, and see you in another video. Goodbye.